morning, everyone.
Morning.
I think we lost it again, Mike.
Oh, I hear
Turned
it.
it off on me when I wasn't looking. All right. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Welcome to the ribbon cutting for the Sioux Falls, presented by the Sioux Falls Area Chamber of Commerce for Sioux Falls Tower and Communications. I'm very pleased to be here today. I knew these folks back when Paul Betzing was the original owner and used to come into Egger Steel when I was just a young pup back in the 80s, and well, okay, I was a little older than a young pup. And so it's a real pleasure for me to be here. I've known Craig since when he first started for them, and I remember even Bart when he used to come in there. So I really enjoy being here and getting the chance to be the MC today. So I'm Mark Luke, and I own Mark Luke Companies. I'm going to read some things about Sioux Falls Tower. This is Craig Snyder, the President and CEO of Sioux Falls Tower and Communications. And then we'll introduce some other folks. We got a star-studded cast here today, so we're excited about that. So I'm going to start by reading about Sioux Falls Tower. Sioux Falls Tower and Communications is celebrating the opening of its new 25,000 square foot corporate office and training center. And you'll get a tour today. It's beautiful. So they are one of the nation's leading telecommunications construction companies, building out the wireless infrastructure for all the major U.S. carriers, including Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, and T-Mobile. The company was founded in 1989 and self-performs the majority of the services offered. With 4 locations across the Midwest and mountain regions, including Sioux Falls and Rapid City, South Dakota, Denver, Colorado, and Orem, Utah, they pride themselves on quality and integrity and experience. With the ribbon cutting ceremony today, we congratulate Sioux Falls Tower and Communications on their new location and thank them for their continued investment in the Sioux Falls Area Chamber of Commerce. So thank you very much, Craig.
Thank you.
Like I said, we have a star-studded cast representing the FCC. We have Commissioner Brendan Carr.
Thanks.
Wow.
Well, thanks so much for a chance to say a couple words, and we'll then move on to hear from Senator Thune and Governor Dugard. A real honor for me to get to be out here. Yesterday I had the chance to climb one of the towers. They claimed that it's 49 feet. I think they left a 0 off the back end of that. It felt like more than that. Earlier in the day we were actually out in Parker, got to climb a water tower where there's a wireless antenna deployed there. So a tremendous amount of appreciation for the work that goes into this. And obviously this is not an adrenaline junkie job by any stretch of the imagination. You need measured, calm people to do these jobs. I got to spend time with Brandon and Landon yesterday up on that tower. And it's really, when I step back, it's important to have facilities like this that's going to improve training, improve safety, and make a real difference. And I spent the last couple of days out here, starting in Nebraska, Iowa, and then here, to look more about what we can do back at the FCC to get more broadband infrastructure deployed to communities across the country. And for me, if you look at New York City or San Francisco, those are places that are going to get next generation broadband and opportunity almost no matter what we do in DC. But there are millions of other communities out there, like Murdo, like Del Rapids, where if they need the chance to get this opportunity. And that's where we can play a difference. We can cut regulatory red tape. We can support deployment through the Universal Service Program. And it's been tremendously helpful to be out here and to see the hard work that goes into connecting these communities. And as we head back to DC, it's going to help us get some of these policies across the finish line. And definitely wanted to take a moment to recognize Senator Thune. He's been doing great work representing South Dakota. In the Senate, he's been working very hard on broadband infrastructure reform ideas, along with a lot of other ideas that's going to help bring additional economic and other opportunity to these communities. So thank you for your work. Thank you for the chance to spend a couple minutes with you all today. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Carr. So it's my pleasure to introduce the Governor of the state of South Dakota, Honorable Dennis Dugard.
Thank you, Mark, and congratulations, Craig and Bart, everyone. I don't know if Craig or Bart are going to mention it, but when I came in earlier today, they called out the fact that this is sort of a timeline. If you look to the far left, you're going to see some pictures of Craig and Bart back in the day when they were climbing towers themselves and doing the work that they now manage for others who do the work. And so I can't think of a better way to lead a company than by example, and having done the work themselves and grown as this industry has grown, there's nobody better than Sioux Falls Tower and its leaders to celebrate this new center and all the additional work they're going to be providing to people here in South Dakota. It's been 29 years, they mentioned that, and nearly 30 years ago when they started this company, after doing some climbing themselves and learning what it was like, they took the plunge, and we're so glad they did, and look what it's grown into. Now this 25,000 square foot building, it's built to handle the large staff which they've assembled over those years, and it has some room for growth as well, because they know growth is coming, and I hope Craig will talk about that, or someone will talk about that. Senator Thune asked about that, and whether it's, as they say, repacking the TV antennas or acknowledging the tremendous and increasing demand for more internet data delivered over cellular towers, or sharing up, freeing up white space for some of those rural broadband needs that we have, where it's not economical to put wire in the ground to some rural remote farm site, but that farmer or rancher needs broadband to be a precision ag operator. Wireless is the way we're going to see that internet broadband delivered. So Sioux Falls Tower, congratulations. The state, I know, played a small part in helping with a loan for this project, and we're proud to help Sioux Falls Tower grow. And I think it's a great example of a South Dakota company that is thriving because of the environment we have for business of any kind in South Dakota. An environment we need to be deliberate about maintaining. Low taxes, low costs, and reasonable regulations help Sioux Falls Tower be located in many places, but headquartered where the environment is right. So congratulations, Craig. Everyone at Sioux Falls Tower. Well done.
Now it's my pleasure to introduce Senator John Thune.
Congratulations, Craig. This is really exciting to be here, to be a part of this, and to see some of the things that are happening right here in South Dakota. I get the privilege in the Senate of chairing a committee called the Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee, which is a committee that has really the widest jurisdiction, broadest reach of any committee in the Congress. It kind of touches pretty much every part of our economy. And I call it planes, trains, and automobiles. We have all modes of transportation. But we also have technology. We have the internet. So all the tech companies, telecommunications companies are under our committee's jurisdiction. And the FCC is under our committee's jurisdiction. I'm delighted that we've gotten Brendan Carr. He's the latest commissioner to be approved. We processed his nomination last summer, and he's doing a great job over there joining the commission and really focusing on these issues that are so important, not only here in rural America, but really all across the country. But our focus, and my sort of focus on the committee, is making sure that rural America doesn't get left behind. States like South Dakota have access to the same types of technological opportunities and innovation that are available other places in the country. And what's really remarkable is this little device here. Most of us have these, right? Wireless devices. There are 16 billion of these in the world today. They say that by 2020 there will be somewhere between 50 and 100 billion wireless devices. All of these operate on spectrum. And so we have to find more spectrum and make it more commercially available if we're going to be able to fuel the demand for additional wireless capabilities. And so that's kind of what our committee's been focused on. We passed a bill recently called the Mobile Now Bill, which was signed into law by the President about a month ago, which will dramatically expand the amount of spectrum that's available for commercial use. And some of that means sharing it in a better way, reallocating it. Government sits on a lot of the spectrum, trying to make it, find ways that we can get the government off of that, or at least share with the government. And then finding new frequencies, new spectrum that we can use to fuel that wireless demand. But we want to get to 5G first. And there's a lot of work being done out there right now to build out newer, modernized broadband infrastructure across this country, and that's exactly what Craig and Sioux Falls Tower does. And so we want to encourage more of that, because there's going to be a tremendous need for it as we drive forward to that next generation gigabit wireless broadband service that can be made available to people all across this country, and particularly right here in South Dakota. And our companies do a really good job. When I come back here in South Dakota and travel the state, there's a lot of creativity and a lot of innovation happening. In fact, I was pointing out this last weekend, my wife and I and our daughter and son-in-law were out in the Black Hills. And we were sitting, my wife has a photo, we were sitting around this table on the deck of this place we were staying at, and everybody was looking at their wireless devices, which I'm not sure is a good thing, but what it tells me is that our companies are doing a really good job, because that's kind of a remote rural area of South Dakota, but everybody had access to data services on their wireless devices. And we want to make sure that not only do we have access, but that we also have higher speeds, more capabilities, more broadband options for people here in South Dakota. And we are doing well, but we can do better. And the reason we're going to do better is because of the hard work, the innovation, the ingenuity of companies like Sioux Falls Tower. And so, Craig, congratulations to you and your team on this new facility and on all the good work that you're doing across the country, not only when it comes to building out faster or better broadband across the state, but also when it comes to wind energy and all the other things that you're involved with. Those are all adding value to this economy in South Dakota, creating good paying jobs for people here in this community and across our state, and raising wages and contributing mightily to the quality of life and the standard of living that people all across South Dakota get the chance to enjoy. And so thank you, keep it up, and let us know what we can do to stay out of your way. So, thank you. Very
Thank you for all your comments. So, Craig, it's your turn to share more about your company and your building, and tell us whatever else.
That's the story. All
Yep.
right. Well, first of all, on behalf of Bart, my partner of almost 30 years, we thank you all for being here, very seriously, particularly to our dignified and honored guests. We didn't expect to have such an awesome cadre of people that would come and celebrate this with us, but thank you, Senator Thune, Governor Dugard, and Commissioner Carr, and those of who I can't mention all of you all here, but thank you. Also, thank you for our business associates. We know a lot of you are here that have worked with Sioux Falls Tower over the years, and we appreciate that. Our customers, our vendors, the Governor's Office of Economic Development, who were part of helping us build this building at a good interest rate, which we really very much appreciated. And then my partners, other partners in Sioux Falls Tower. So we've entered our 30th year at Sioux Falls Tower. Bart and I were 3 men in a pickup truck, and you can see some of the pictures in the back here. That's how we got started. And we took it as far as we could take it. And then we had to bring in really smart young people. And the reason we have this building today is thanks to, not to Bart and I as much as it is, I mean, we're the big part of it, but to these really smart young people that make up, and older people that make up Sioux Falls Tower. And to those people, we honor you very much today. We got our roots in TV and radio. And when you're driving east of town, you see those great big tall towers with the red blinking or white lights. They're 2,000 feet tall. That's what Bart and I got started. We were working on those tall towers. That took us so far, but then all of a sudden along came this thing called cellular right after we started. And we didn't plan that. It wasn't like, you guys are geniuses. You guys got in right when cellular was starting. We didn't think of that. We just thought, we're working on FM stations. We're working on TV stations. But as it turned out, cellular came into the picture in the late 1980s, right after we got started. And it has taken us from 1G, first generation, to 2G, to 3G, to 4G, and now we're just on the cusp, as Commissioner Carr pointed out, in 5G. 5G is a complete and utter game changer. And our industry and our company and others like us, that's what we do. We built for first generation cellular towers, and we'll put up the 5th generation cellular nodes. They don't have to be towers anymore. They can be on street lights and things like that. We're in rural America, and so rural America is where we live. Sioux Falls Tower lives there. 75% of what we touch is the build out of rural broadband. You hear a lot about that in the news and how important that is, because the people in Murdo, we have a tower in Murdo, we need to get Verizon to go on it right now. The people in Murdo, they want their wireless devices to work just as well as the people in downtown Sioux Falls. So Sioux Falls Tower is the facilitators to make that happen. Tower technicians don't grow on trees. We have to raise them up here. You can't go to one of the trade schools in South Dakota or anywhere else and say, I'll take all the tower technicians you can give me, because they don't train that. So we bring people in and we train them ourselves, and that is probably the biggest reason why we built this building, so that we would have a place to bring in these brand new 21, we make them be 21 before they climb towers, 21-year-olds, and train them on how to become a tower technician. They get paid good, and they become these masters of technical. Now, if you made me go back on a tower and say, okay, get that cellular antenna system working, I would be lost, because it's evolved so much now. It's no longer just this gritty brawn of guys up on towers. They have to have that too, but they also have to have the ability to make very fine fiber optic connections at 200, 300 feet in the air. And if you don't know anything about fiber optic, it's very fussy and finicky. So this facility is designed for that. We are both a business enterprise and a technical school, essentially, in one here. Our training center, if you haven't had a chance to look at it, it's right in the next room. That's about $1 million investment that we've invested in just training people, both in safety and in the trades. We expect tremendous growth. We've had tremendous growth in the last 5 years. We expect we'll double in size in another 5 years and double again in another 10 years. It could go beyond that, but it's largely driven by the industry's demand, but it's also driven by these excellent people at Sioux Falls Tower that just go out and find work, and we just can't keep up with it all. So I want to thank Todd Schleckaway. Todd is here today from the National Association of Tower Erectors. That is an association headquartered here in South Dakota, and he represents 835 companies just like ours. We appreciate all the great work that he's doing. I want to thank Wendell Potratz and his staff from Design Architects, who helped design the building, Dale Jans and his staff for constructing the building for us that we're in, and it's a great place. We just love it. I want to thank my wife, Kristen. I don't know where you are. You're back there. I love her, and she's been my rock. You know, as she lets me work so I can do these things, and she takes care of the other half of our life, and I really appreciate that. Again, the Sioux Falls Tower people, too many to name, but you're just very important to me and very important to Bart and I and to this organization. And last but not least, I thank my Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ for their impact. We pray here, we believe that they make a difference, and I hope that you feel the same way. So we appreciate you all for being here today. We will invite you to tour the facility when we're done, and we just hope you enjoy it, and thank you again. Thank you, especially our dignified guests.
Thank you, Craig, and good job remembering to introduce your wife, because sometimes it doesn't happen in ribbon cutting, so it never goes good. It's always an important part. So, presenting the plaque and representing the Board of Directors of the Sioux Falls Area Chamber of Commerce, we have Tim Sturdivant with Sturdivant's Auto, and Bart Roberts is going to come up, and are you say a few words too, Bart, the other owner? You sure? Okay.
Alrighty, thank you, Mark. And Craig, Bart, vital vital service that you provide the community. Our little company, we had about 20, 30 stores back in the late 80s. We went live on a centralized system in October of '88 using old analog lines. And you had to know how to communicate with the phone company. Oh, I'm a little hot in Chamberlain right now, and I'm long in Mitchell or wherever the store was to try to get those lines up. So along came the internet, which was a tremendous media for us to communicate with. And it is so vital to all of our businesses and our customers to have that solid internet connection, as well as the broadband, the cellular, all other vital things that are so important to us in South Dakota as well as all over the world. We've got to all be connected. And on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, sure appreciate your investment in the Chamber. Over 2,200 members in Sioux Falls, many of them rely vitally on your services. And they're representing nearly 97,000 employees, which I bet most all those need to be connected as well. So I would like to present you with this plaque that states that congratulations are extended to the Sioux Falls Tower and Communications. We share our sincere best wishes for your success and continued growth in the Sioux Falls area. And it was signed by Jason Ball, our president, and Steve Van Bustard, our chairman. And I just want to thank you both so much. Thank you.
So bear with me here. If we could get this moved back, please. If we could push back.
This part back?
Yep, push the podium back. If I can get the speakers, everybody that spoke onto the podium, please. And can I get Mike Young, Emily Heatington, and Leland down here, please. Yep, come on this way, please, guys. Yep, perfect. All right, you guys go ahead and stand on the floor there. Tim, get up there, please. Can I actually get Craig and Bart in the middle? All right, Bart.
Bart's the cutter.
Don't put your hand there. You're gonna
Check out Bart's nice mullet here.
Did he break both his ankles?
Back in the day. Hold it
Okay.
tight for better cutting.
I need to rearrange just a little bit, guys. Sorry. Tim, can you? Okay, Leland, will you step back with the ribbon just a little bit more towards this direction? Perfect. Get Tim in there. Everybody come up nice and close to the ribbon, as close as you can. Perfect. All right, guys, I gotta get in here and get a good photo too. So, all right, everybody, look here. Give me nice big smiles. Keep smiling. Perfect. Can we go ahead and get the rest of your employees in as much as possible for the Facebook photo?
Come on down, Sioux Falls Tower.
Go ahead and, Bart, go ahead and take the scissors off and close them so we don't hurt anybody. Perfect. And can I have Mike and Leland and Emily come a little closer, towards me here, so that we can get some people right there. Perfect. I can get some people by the ribbon here. Let's have Bart and Craig. Can you guys come down to the ribbon? Yeah, Bart and Craig, down to the ribbon. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah, I could possibly get up there.
Sioux Falls Tower, y'all on?
I think we can get it. All right, the trick to this is if you can't see me, I can't see you, and I know I'm short, so you gotta find a spot. Keep finding spots. Tim, do you mind coming around this way? Leland, go ahead and extend the ribbon just a little bit more. Yep, perfect. Let's have Mike just take a couple steps this way. Perfect. Yep. So then we can get Senator Sioux in. Oh, yeah. One little tiny step that way. Nice. Yep, perfect.
He's coming in Sioux Falls Tower again.
Okay, we are getting ready to guys. I'm gonna run upstairs and yell at you guys from up there. How's that?
Come on in, get in the pit.
Come on, I'm letting people in.
However we can get you squeezed in. So we can get another one from
All right, guys, if you go ahead and look up here, this is going to be much easier than finding spots for all of you guys. Everybody look up here, please. Give me nice big smiles. Keep smiling. Perfect. Give me another second. All right, keep smiling. Give me nice big. Okay, Bart, go ahead and open up the scissors, put them on the ribbon, but don't cut yet. Give you nice big smiles again. Perfect. All right, Bart, you may cut the ribbon.
Is there anything else from the chamber that you guys are going to say?
Oh, we're good.
Okay, so make your way into the next room, which is our training center. See the very awesome, real representations of towers that are in there. Have some food. Maybe some of you dignitaries might want to stick around for some media here a little bit, but otherwise, we really appreciate everyone coming today. Thank you so much. Oh, tours. Tours start here? Oh, tours start here. All right. Stay here for the tours. And where are our tour guides?
They're gonna all be right here. Anybody wearing a white shirt?
White shirts.
I'll be happy to show you around.
Oh, okay.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much.
Great job. Great.
We'll be right back.
Really good.
Great turnout too.
Probably will be.
How you doing? Nice to see you. Yeah.